Okay, welcome back to the our lectures on power semiconductor drives. So, and today topic is control of induction motor. That is we are going to start the third chapter, third unit. That is control of induction motor, and also we have seen the in previous lecture the differences between that advantage and disadvantage of the AC drives when we compare with the DC drives that we observed in the previous lecture. That is an I think on yesterday only. Okay, now let's see this controlling of induction motor. So before that, we all know that the induction motor are the most widely used motors for appliances like industrial control or like automations. So these are going to be very widely used type of motors, right? So and also these are very reliable and also very durable, and we are going to use the most of the motors in many industrial application. We are going to use the induction motors only, and we so that we need to have the controlling of this induction motor. There is a we have to control the speed control of the induction motor. So why we need to control the speed? So let me explain. So why controlling? That is why you have to do the controlling of the any motor, not only induction motor or any motor here. So the reason is very first reason is first better smooth starting. The speed control is required for the smooth starting as well as the smooth stopping of any electric mechanical load. That is for smooth starting and smooth stopping of electrical loads. And also we are going to use this speed control, that is to save the power. That is when you are using the speed controlling techniques, the efficiency can be maintained, right? So that means we are going to use the only required speed for required applications, and by there we can save the power so that the efficiency can be maintained, right? So the very second reason is what power saving is possible by using the speed control technique, so that efficiency can be maintained. That is the efficiency can be maintained. So these two are the main reason to discussing to go for the controlling of the induction motors. So before discussing about this controlling of the induction motor, so first let me recall the things regarding the induction motor which you have studied in your machines subject, right? So if you take a induction motor, it is going to have the two main parts, right? So if you remember, the induction motor will having the two parts. Those are what? Those are a starter part as well as the rotor. Induction motor is going to have the two main parts. Those are the starter as well as the rotor. So this is the this external part is the stator, and this one is what? This is the rotor. Okay, and we're going to use the windings on the starter as well as the rotor parts. So which are the windings are going to be placed in the slots. I'm just giving the rough construction for the this induction motor, as you know already. I'm just giving you the rough and also rotor is going to have also rotor windings which are placed in the slots, rotor slots. Okay, and now the starter, we know that this motor, this induction motor. So whenever this induction motor is fed from the power supply, there's a three-phase power supply. For example, you are having three-phase power supply, that is a ABC power supply. Okay, so for example, this fed from the three-phase power supply. What happened then? Whenever the starter is fed from the three-phase power supply, then there's a possibility of the uh, rotating multiple is going to be produced in the starter field. Okay, and we know that what is this gap between the starter and rotor? This gap between the starter and rotor is we call as a air gap. This is we call as a air gap. Okay. So whenever, and you know that the starter, the rotating magnetic which is produced in the starter, which it is going to rotate in a at the speed of synchronous speed. The speed of what? Synchronous speed omega s. Let me make it is a omega s at the starter side. Okay. Then what about rotor? The rotor is going to try to catch up the speed. This rotor is going to try to catch up the speed of this rotating magnetic field. So by means of why that these conductors which are these conductors in the rotor are short circuited, so that there is a possibility of the current. So with that current, what happens? There is a production of the rotating magnetic field. So that is going to try to catch up this starter speed, and this rotor is going to rotate at what speed? It is a rotor speed. Let me make it omega r speed. It's rotating it omega r speed. Okay. So that is the omega s is the starter speed, as we call it is a synchronous speed. This is the synchronous speed, or we can say it is a speed of the rotating magnetic field. Speed of the rotating magnetic field, and this omega r we call it as a motor speed. We call this omega r as a motor speed, or we can solve it is a rotor speed. Speed of the rotor. As you know, so please be waited. Okay, sorry for the interruption. Uh, So it is about the basic construction of the induction motor. So we know that what we are talking, our main intention is what? We need to go for the controlling of the induction motor. That is we need to go for the speed torque relationship, right? So for that we have to know the torque equation as well as the speed equation of the induction motor, right? So for that I will explain with the equivalent circuit diagram of the induction motor. So we are going to explain this controlling technique from the steady state analysis, or from the equivalent circuit diagram of the induction motor. That is, if you remember this equivalent circuit diagram, so I'm drawing the equivalent circuit diagram. Circuit diagram of induction motor, and I'm going to draw this induction motor circuit diagram is per phase. We'll take this diagram per phase. Okay, so let me draw this circuit diagram here. So this is a power supply V. Let me take the supply voltage is V. Okay, and this power supply is given to the what? A stator part. That is, starter is going to have the winding also, which is having the stator resistance. Stator resistance, that is let me make it is R1. I'm representing stator resistance with the R1, and also it is a winding having the some inductance. There is leakage inductance, starter reactance here. There is a, let me represent with the X1, and also after that what happened? We'll make a rotor circuit here. A rotor resistance, let me make it is a R2 prime, or else first let me draw the reactance. A rotor reactance, there is a X2 prime or X2 dash, and the rotor resistance. Rotor resistance, that is we call it as a R2 dash by S. There is a S stands for what? Slip. Okay, this already you know the circuit diagram. you've seen in your induction mode machines. There's a machines too, I think so. And also we are going to have the magnetization reactance in between the starter and rotor. That is we call XM. That is we call XM. Magnetization reactance that we call as a XM. Okay. So this is the equivalent circuit diagram of the induction motor per phase, and it is for the refer to the rod starter, and this current is the starter current IS. So this is the current, magnetization current IM. This one is the rotor side IR prime current. Okay, let me mention these parameters here. So here V is what? V is the supply voltage. V is the supply voltage, that is in volts, and this IS is the starter current. Stator current IS, and this IM is the magnetizing current. Magnetizing current, and this one IR dash. IR dash is the rotor current referred to stator, or we can call it as a stator referred rotor current. Stator referred rotor current, which will take in the amperes, or you can call it as a rotor current referred to the stator. So both are same. This is IR dash, which is in the amperes, and this is the RS. RS is the stator resistance, which is in ohms. Stator resistance. And coming to XS, this is the stator reactance, which is also in ohms. And coming to the remaining two parts, that is a RR dash and XR dash. Let me before that, this S stands for the slip. We'll talk about slip in couple of minutes. And this RR dash or RR prime is called as a stator referred rotor resistance, or we call rotor resistance referred to the stator. This is a stator referred rotor resistance, which is in ohms, which you take in ohms. And also this one is XR dash, is a call as a stator referred rotor reactance. Rotor reactance. Okay, so these are the parameters which are involved in the equivalent circuit of the induction motor. So here coming to this term called slip. So what is meant by this word slip here? So you know that this omega ms is what? Omega ms is the speed of the rotating magnetic field, is the synchronous speed, and omega r is what? A rotor speed. Omega r is the rotor speed. And coming to, or you can take omega r or omega m, whatever. There is no mention, there is no problem. In some textbooks they will mention like omega ms, that is a synchronous speed of the motor, or they will call it as a speed of the rotating magnetic field. And this is the omega r, they will represent omega m. This is a speed of the rotor or speed of the motor. Okay, so there is no bother while representing the these speeds with different letters. Let me talk about this slip here. The slip is given by, so all things are you know already. I am just recalling the things here. The slip will be given by, there is a difference in the synchronous speed and rotor speed over the synchronous speed. Okay, or else you can also write it as like we can also write ns minus nr over omega s. That is, here omega is what? The speed is in radians per second. We'll take omega in radians per second. And coming to this n is will take in rpm. So from this equation, you can write down the expression for the torque speed. There is a motor speed. That is, we can write it is a motor speed or rotor speed. We can write like nr equals to, that is the synchronous speed times of 1 minus s. 1 minus s. So this is the speed equation, speed of the induction motor. Speed of the induction motor we can find out from this formula nr equals to ns times of 1 minus s. Okay, so after that we need to find out the torque equation. So we need to find out the torque equation from this equivalent circuit diagram, which is showing on the screen. Okay, so here before that you can observe that. So if you remember your machine's lecture on induction motor, so here the impedance drop due to the starter side, the starter impedance drop is negligible. There is a we can use this magnetized reactance before the at the supply side. That is, we can also draw the circuit diagram like. Let me redraw the one more equivalent circuit diagram. So please observe here. Let me copy this diagram. I'm just redrawing the one more equivalent circuit diagram from the previous diagram only. Okay, so I will just shift this part, there's a magnetizing part, to the supply side. That is, here I'm neglecting the stator impedance drop. Stator impedance drop. So I'm redrawing the equivalent circuit diagram of induction motor. So this is the supply voltage in volts, and this is the stator current Is, and this one is the IR dash and R2 dash by S, and this one is the IM, that is the magnetizing current. This is the XM, that is the magnetizing reactance XM. Okay, now from by using this circuit diagram, so it is a approximate equivalent circuit diagram of induction motor. So we use this circuit to find out the torque calculations. To find out the torque calculation, we will go with this approximate circuit diagram. So let us go for the finding the torque equation here. So before going for the torque equation, as we know the general formula, so I will come from the general formula. So if you know the mechanical power output as well as the speed, if you know the mechanical power output as well as the speed of the motor, then what is the torque equation? So we know that what is the torque equation formula? If you know the mechanical power output and as well as the speed of the motor, then you can find out the torque is given by the mechanical power output by the motor speed. By the motor speed. Here we call omega m or omega r. Here we are calling omega m or omega r. Omega m or omega r. You can also take the synchronous speed as omega ms or simply omega s. Okay, so this is the torque equation. Okay, so to find out the torque characteristics, that is the speed torque characteristics of induction motor, you have to know the terms. You have to know the equations which are involved in this. That is what is the power mechanical power equation. we have to find out the what is the denominator value and what is the numerator value. So if you know the values of denominator as well as the numerators, then easily you can draw the torque speed characteristics of the induction motor, right? So further let us go for the finding these terms. That is a mechanical power output. Here what is the PM? This PM is the mechanical power developed. Mechanical power developed. Okay, that is the output of the motor, or we can say it is a output of the induction power output of the induction motor. So before that, what we are talking here, for example, here you are having the stator and you are having the rotor. Okay, so in between the stator and rotor, what we are having, we are having what, air gap. In between the stator and rotor, we are having the air gap. So this is the rotor part, and this one is the stator part. So here we are having what, air gap. Okay, so from the stator to rotor, we are going to have what, which power, air gap power, air gap power developed. That is, let me explain with the this circuit diagram, so you can observe here. So in this circuit diagram, what is spot? This spot is the stator and this is the rotor. Okay, the stator and rotor, that is observed here. This is the stator part and this is the rotor part. Okay, so what is this? In between the stator and rotor, we are going to have the air gap. There is a air gap power developed. Air gap power developed, which is the active power. Which is what? Active power. Okay, and also you are going to have the, we are having the resistance in the rotor. You are having the rotor resistance is there. So you can also have the rotor copper losses. Rotor copper losses. After that, you can get the mechanical power developed. Okay, so here you can observe here. First, the input power will be given to the stator. After that, there is a possibility of the stator copper losses, and also there is a possibility of the air gap power, and there is a rotor copper losses. After that, you are going to get the mechanical power developed. That is the output power of the motor. Okay, so from this different types of power, can you tell me that how we can write this mechanical power developed PM value? Anybody, could you answer me this mechanical power developed in terms of the, tell me in terms of air gap power as well as in terms of the rotor copper losses. In terms of rotor copper losses, PAG is the air gap power, or active power. There is an active power also. This PRC is the rotor copper losses, and PM is the mechanical power developed. Okay, so from this, could you tell me that what is the formula of mechanical power developed in terms of the this PAG and PRQ? Anybody, could you answer me in terms of air gap power and rotor copper losses? Let me know how much you remembered your machines topics. So please, any one of you. Hello, my dear students. I'm asking you only. So could you tell me the mechanical power developed equation in terms of the air gap power and also rotor copper losses? So here, very simple here. So here, what is this air gap power? This is the input power for the rotor. This one is the input power for the rotor, and this PM is what? Output of the rotor. PM is the output of the rotor. This simply, this PH is the input of the rotor, PM is the output of the rotor, and PRC is the losses in the copper, right? So from this words, can't tell me that relation between these three powers? Anybody? Hello, my dear students. Is it audible for you? right? PAG minus PCU, right? Well done. So we can write this mechanical power is equals to what? The rotor input minus the rotor copper losses, or we can say it is a this PAG minus PRCU, that is a rotor copper losses. Okay. So now what is this PAG and what is this PRU? Rotor copper losses. So if you observe here, so from this circuit diagram, we can say that so this is the active power. This air gap power is the active power. So we can write this power PAG is equals to the what is the active power actual formula? It is the I square times of the what resistance, or I square times of the resistance, that is called as the active power, right? So here what is the current here? Current is the IR dash. That is IR dash times of IR dash square times of the what is the resistance value here? Resistance value is the R2 dash by S. So you can write this air gap power. You can write this air gap power PAG is equal to the, so usually active power formula is what? I square. Usually this is I square or formula, active power. Okay. So now here, if you observe this circuit diagram, what is the I value is what? I value is the IR dash value. IR dash value. And what is the resistance value here? Resistance is the R2 dash by S. So we can write this PAG is equals to the I square IR prime square and R2 dash by S. And one more thing you need to remember here, I have taken the circuit diagram. It's an equal circuit diagram per phase. It is per phase, right? So what we need an equation for 3 phases. So simply make it is a 3 times. So it is a 3 times of IR dash square into R2 dash by S. R2 dash by S. Okay. Or else let me make it I2 dash, as we are representing with stator resistance. Okay, let me change this RS XS and XS XR, sorry, XR and RR. Okay. So here also RS XS XR RR. Now next is what is this current IR dash? We need to find out the current IR dash. Okay. So for this circuit diagram, if you observe here, so we can write down this current IR dash equals to what is the supply voltage for the circuit? The supply voltage is what? V. And what is the impedance? Impedance involved is what? Stator resistance, stator reactance, and rotor resistance and rotor reactance. Okay. So we can write this IR dash equals to the voltage, the total voltage V by V over the resistance part, that is RS plus R dash by S times of plus J times of the reactance is stator reactance XS plus stator referred rotor reactance XR dash. Okay. So we can substitute this IR dash in the above formula. You can get the air gap power. Now next thing is we need to find out the copper losses. Copper losses. Simply it will be given by 3 times of IR square RR dash. There is a rotor resistance. There is a rotor resistance. Okay, here I am not taking the bias. Please observe that when we talk about an air gap, we have taken it's a RR dash bias, but here I am not taking bias. Why? Because when you talk about the rotor copper losses, You have to take only rotor resistance only. So for understanding that, you can observe that this resistance, this R dash by S, you can divide this resistance into the two components like R dash and also R dash times of 1 by S minus 1. Okay, so this is called, this resistance is called as a uh, this is resistance is going to represent the load. There is a mechanical output, mechanical current output. You can use this resistance part R dash times of 1 by S minus 1. You can represent like a load. You can represent like a load mechanical component, and this R dash is the coming to rotor side. Okay, so that from that you can write down the copper loss is equals to the 3 times of IR the prime square into RR dash. Okay, so with this you can find out the this mechanical power developed. That's PM. PM is equals to the air gap power, that's the rotor input power, IR dash square times of RR dash by S minus 3 times of IR dash square into RR dash. Okay, so if you solve this, you are going to get the expression like, you can common this IR dash square and RR dash. So you are going to get 1 by S minus 1. That is, you can write it like a 1 minus S by S. 1 minus S by S. So from this, you can find out the torque expression. T equals to, we already seen there is a mechanical power developed by what? The motor speed. So what we observe, this mechanical power developed, it is the 3 times of this value. Okay. That is, let me make a copy of that value here. This is the mechanical power developed, and also we have by the motor speed. By the motor speed omega r, or you can take it is a omega m also. Okay, so here from this you can also write, we already said omega r equals to 1 minus s times of what? Synchronous speed. That is, you can write 1 minus s by omega r equals to, it's a 1 by omega s. So if you substitute these values here, you can write down the torque expression. T equals to 3 times of IR dash square into RR dash by the synchronous speed omega s slip s. Okay, so for the further simplification, I am writing here, observe here, there is a 3 by omega s. In place of IR dash, I am replacing IR with this value that we observed already. This value is what? V by this value. So this is a IR dash value. Okay, and this is what? IR square. So if I do the square, we can write this expression like, that is a V square by RS plus RR dash by S whole square and XS plus XR dash whole square. That is X plus J y, like you can write X square plus Y square times of RR dash by slip. Okay, now with this the torque equation. Now you can observe, if I want to find out the maximum torque, if I want to find out the maximum torque, that is to find out maximum torque. So what we need to do, you need to differentiate this expression with the variable, one variable parameter. So among these all parameters, which one is the variable? This voltage is the supply voltage, thus we are going to make it fixed. Okay, and also this omega is the synchronous speed, speed of the rotating magnetic field, and this is a parameter. If your machine is designed, it's going to be constant. So only thing we can vary is what? Slip. Only thing we can vary is what? Only slip we can vary here. So that is you can do. You can find out the maximum torque by doing the differentiation of the this equation 1 with respect to the slip. That is the dt by ds equal to 0. That is, you always in your intermediate to find out the maximum values and minimum values. We need to do what? We need to do the differentiate and we need to equal to the 0, and we have to find out the value that has to be substituted in the equation 1. Okay, so if you do this, we'll get the maximum torque, the slip at maximum torque. The slip at maximum torque, we can get it like RR prime over root of, you can do that, dt by ds equal 0. So why I'm not doing here? You already done it in your machines only. So I'm not going to explain again. So RR prime by under root of R square plus xs plus xr dash whole square. Okay. So we have to substitute this value in the equation 1. We have to substitute the value in equation 1. That is the, we take this equation 1. That is the equation 2 in 1 will give us maximum torque. Will give us maximum torque. That is the maximum torque can be obtained from the equation torque by substituting S equals to S max. Okay. So if you do this, we are going to get the maximum torque equation. So 3 by, so please do the calculations, I'm not doing here. 2 times of omega s synchronous speed, and is a voltage square v square over rs plus r minus the root of r square s plus xs plus xr whole square. Okay, and here this maximum slip can be a positive or it can be negative. So it's the torque equation. This equation 1 and equation 3. First one is the generalized torque equation, and third one is the maximum torque equation. So tell me anybody, if you want to find out the starting torque, please could you tell me that? So if you want to find out the starting torque, what you have to do? Anybody could you answer me? So if I want to find out the starting torque, what we have to do? We have to make S equals to what? S equal to 1, right? Well done. So why S equals to 1? So for when the motor in starting condition, that is we can make the rotor speed NR equals 0. When NR value 0, we can say that S equals to 1. So if we substitute S equals to 1 in the equation 1, we will get the starting torque. We will get the starting torque. Okay. From these conclusions, we can draw the this speed torque characteristics of the induction motor. Let me draw the speed torque or torque speed characteristics of the induction motor. Let's go for the torque speed characteristic of a induction motor, of a polyphase or induction motor. So please observe, you already know that. I'm just recalling things only. You can take torque on the y-axis. Usually we can take torque on the x-axis, but to explain in better manner of this characteristics, I'm taking torque on the y-axis and the speed on the x-axis. Let me take speed omega, or let me write it as speed here. This is speed. Okay. So when you're going to draw this characteristics, it will follow like this. Please observe here. So my dear students, a small announcement. The meeting is going to be ending in couple of minutes. Please after that rejoin again. Please after that rejoin again. So these are the speed torque characteristics of the induction motor. And here this is the torque. This is the torque at which slip is 0. S equal 0. S equal to 0. Sorry. You can say that it is a what? 0 speed. This 0 speed. Here the speed is what? 0. Speed is 0. So we can say that NR equal 0 means what? Slip is what? S equals to 1. S equals to 1. So this torque is called as what? This torque is called as a starting torque. This torque is called as a starting torque. Okay. And also this torque. So in this graph you can observe this is what? This one is the maximum torque. This one is the T maximum. And corresponding slip is what? Corresponding slip we call it as a maximum slip. And here, so here torque is 0. Torque is 0 means what? You can take S equal to what? 0. So here slip is 0. That is a plus ns. You can take it's a plus ns. When we take ns equals to nr. When we take ns equals to nr, we're going to get what? Slip is 0. So at this point S equals to 0. Then we take this is the position of the slip. S equal 0 and maximum torque and S equals to 1. So it's the slip correspond to the maximum torque. Okay. Now at this point, for example, the speed at ns nr equals to minus ns. The speed at nr equals to minus ns. Minus ns. Now tell me what is the value of slip here? Anybody could you answer me? The speed nr equals to minus ns. What is the slip value? Anybody could you please answer me? At nr equals to minus ns. S will be greater than 1. Okay, that's okay. So what is the value of slip? I'm giving you the value of nr. It's going to be what? Obviously S equals to 2, right? Here slip is 2. And here we can divide this mode of operation. Here you can observe I'm 3 region of operations here. If you observe this slip characteristics here, so in this region, the slip is in between the 0 and 1. In between the 0 and 1. And here the slip is going to be less than 0. Slip will be less than 0. Okay. So there is a slip is a negative slip here. That is you can observe here the ns is going to be less than the nr. You can say it is the motor speed is going to be more than the synchronous speed in this region. And coming to this region. So this region we can say it is a slip is more than 1. Slip is more than 1. Okay. So now tell me which one is the motoring mode of operation and which one is the generating mode of operation. So if you remember the motor speed is going to be less than the synchronous speed, then we can say that the motor is in what? Motoring operation, right? That is the slip is in between the 0 and 1. We can say that the motor will be in the motoring mode of operation. That is, this is in motoring operation, motoring region. Okay. Now in this region, so for this case, for s less than 0, right? Well done. So for s less than 0, what? It is a generating operation. That is a nr is more than the NS. So this is the generating region. This one is the well done. So this S more than one is what? Braking region. This is the braking region. So why we call S more than one is braking region?